Welcome. Today we're going to check out the amazing new features of Twinmotion 2024.1. You can get Twinmotion via the Epic Games launcher. Once installed and registered, you can just go to the Twinmotion tab. Here you can select the version which you want to install. Just go for the 2024.1 and you can install it here. I would like to point out that Twinmotion has a new pricing model since of April this year, which is great news for freelancers and small businesses. Namely, if your revenue in the past 12 months is less than $1 million, Twinmotion is completely free to use, which is amazing. There are no more watermarks in your exports, and they are also not anymore limited to 2K exporting. The only thing which is restricted is the Twinmotion Cloud. So that still remains only available with the subscription. The first new feature I would like to talk about is the new Iceland environment template. It can be found on the home panel. So in case you disabled the home panel on startup, you can always find it if you go on the file, show home panel, and it is right up in the right corner. If you don't have it downloaded yet, this button will just say download, and you can download it and open it anytime. As you can see, this is a really beautifully crafted environment. It is packed with Quixel mega scans, and I really like it a lot. And we will use this environment to check out some of the amazing new features. Let's say that we would like to create a forest above this beautiful cliff. To do that, we're going to click on the media, left click on the plus sign to create a new image, left click on this symbol to create a media preview window. This will help us to see in real time all the changes that we do in the viewport. To access the new area tool, we're going to click on populate, place, and area. A yellow dot will appear that will allow you to create the area. We're just gonna drag it and place approximately where we want area to be. Close it by clicking on the first dot, and you see these arrows. They indicate where the objects which you can populate by dropping the assets in this window. I'm gonna pick some trees. Let's go with the sandalwood tree. Already you can see in the preview, in the media preview, the created forest. Of course, we don't want the same tree duplicated all over again. So we're gonna choose some beautiful trees. It's gonna be a walnut tree, some tree, and an oak tree, and a birch. So in the area tool you can find the tools which are available to. That is like the path tension. You can decide what's the spacing gonna be. The more like it's gonna be 1.5 meters, or you want it to be 6 meters, and also you can decide about the random spacing and the probability. The beautiful thing is that you can, once you decide how your area is going to look like, you can even afterwards change it. So if you don't want this tree anymore here, you can just delete it from the window, and everything happens in real time, and the results are really amazing. You can also change the area afterwards, so you can just, by clicking on the dot, you can just drag it around if you think, okay, I don't want the trees so far to the front. You can just click on the dot and then drag it like you would any other object in Twinmotion. Once happy with the result, we can just quit the media preview and right click to deselect, and here we have our forest, which is basically created in a few clicks. To access the spacing tool, we're going to click on Populate, Place and Spacing. Once again, an orange yellow dot is going to appear in the viewport. Just left click to place the first dots. This is going to represent the path where your objects are going to be placed on. Just right click when you're happy. And you can already see again the arrows that represent where the objects are going to be placed. Once again, in this menu, you can decide the tension, the lateral offset from the path that you have drawn with the dots, and the count of the objects. To represent this better, we're gonna again pick a tree, place it, and as you can see, it immediately creates where the arrows have been placed, the assets. Again, you can choose different assets, and you can see the results immediately in real time. You can choose how to place it either by count or by distance, and if you don't want the offset so the trees are not on the street, you can just remove it. And again, another really quick method to populate your scene. To access the render layers, all you have to do is click on an asset, like this rock for instance. In the Properties tab, the option for the layer ID is going to appear. If you left click on it, you can enable it, and then you can choose one of the layers that you can assign to it. Let's say this one is going to be layer 1, the road is going to be layer 2, and let's say the gravel here is going to be layer 3. Once you render your image, those layers are going to be created additionally, so it might take a little longer, and you can use then these layered masks to edit and enhance the picture in post-processing, like in Photoshop. To choose which layers to render, you can go on Export, choose the image which you want to be layered, and then under the Details tab, you can always decide which layer you want to have additionally rendered. The sky is always an option, and then just click on Start Export. To quickly explain the new foliage material, we're gonna bring in an object, like a primitive, for instance this sphere here. So we're gonna click on the Materials tab. You have to be mindful, clicking on the plus sign while standard is written here will just create a new standard material. To access the new foliage material, you're gonna go to the bottom right corner, click on really this area, then you're gonna get this drop down menu, choose foliage. It will create a new instance of the new foliage material, which you can then drag and drop to your objects. Here you can decide the value of the backface fade and the new features. Here you can use the global season at the moment, or you can force a season to your foliage. You can see the results right away if you move the slider, and you can also choose the color pattern for your new foliage material. To demonstrate the new animation sequence tool, I have already imported an animated jellyfish. To access the animation sequence tool. You just go on the bottom tab to media. It is the third symbol from left. And to create a new sequence, you just click on the plus sign. It will automatically create a 10-second clip. And it works a bit different than the video tool. So what we had before, to create another keyframe, you would just click on the plus symbol here at the end of the last keyframe in the videos. So the sequence tool works a bit different. To create another keyframe, you just have to drag the slider. For instance, here, you prepare the camera, the shot, how you like it, and then you click on the plus symbol. And then, for instance, we can go a bit up to make this the drag it along. And create the last symbol. So what you can do in the sequence tool is, for instance, if you don't want the animation to start right away with your 10-second clip, you can just drag it along the timeline and place it here. So what you will see is that the jellyfish will be frozen for the first couple of seconds, and once you reach its bar, it will start to animate along your 10-second clip. And the sequence tool also allows you to set up a camera roll. To do that, you just click on the keyframe that you want to have it, and on the right in the properties you can find the sequence, and here is the menu for the camera roll. You will see it is grayed out because you have to first uncheck the override camera roll in the cam, set up a value as you want it, let's say 2, and then we can already start the clip with the camera roll between the second and the third keyframe. What you can also do, if you find a nice shot, you can just click this symbol here to take a snapshot. It will immediately send it over to the pictures, to the images, which you can then further edit. And if you want to create another part of the sequence which doesn't smoothen out from the first 10 seconds, you can just click here on this camera on the plus symbol, and what it will do is create a new, or let's say another sequence where there is no path smoothing between the two, and it would look like this. And here again, if you want to have another camera movement, you can just do it like this. And for instance, if you want the animation to stop again at the next shot, you can just drag here the end of it and to say, okay, I would like the animation to stop here. This is probably my favorite new tool in the Twinmotion 2024.1. The new Filmback feature allows you to load a preset of real existing cameras, and to access that you can just, in this case, select this image, go to the camera option, and then scroll down until you see the Filmback. This is already unfolded, so you click on it, you enable it, and then here you can choose which presets you would like to have: Super 8mm, 35mm Academy, or a custom setting. And then you still have the options here under the Details tab to modify the sensor width and the sensor height. Thank you so much for watching. I will have the links to the detailed release notes in the video description, and I hope to see you in the next one.